Sudah itu apa sudah saya serahkan screenshotnya nilainya
Oke, oke. Suaranya putus-putus.
itu
Ini
screenshotnya
maksudnya kamu sudah ngerjain
sudah
tapi lupa screen
saya
nilainya.
serahkan di classroom.
Oke, sebentar, mesti ngecek ya.
Di classroom juga apa namanya eh, eh,
Ini ya yang akunnya double.
tulisannya diserahkan gitu.
Oke, sebentar. Ini double soalnya. Jadi yang akun pribadinya mesti hapus ya.
Nah, segini saya tinggalkan dan saya sudah kemudian teman diserah yang bawah mis yang
Akun pribadinya mesti
akun
hapus ya
sekolah
biar nggak
iya
rancu.
lupa iya mis ini
Nah, kita coba lihat.
iya
Oke. Nah, oke, udah hilang nih. Berarti kamu sudah submit yang ini ya namanya. Oke,
iya mis
sudah.
Ina
Thank you.
saya sudah
Ya, thank you.
iya mis terima kasih
Yap. Oke, sudah. Nah, kan Miss Sina nggak ngasih kalian project tersendiri khusus lagi, jadi berdasarkan dari PR dan juga tugas harian, Miss Sina ambil nilainya. Kita lanjutkan aja materi kita, which is tinggal 2 minggu lagi. Nah, hari ini kita akan lanjutkan ke conditionals yang type ketiga, which is type terakhir. Kita akan review lagi minggu depan. Minggu depan kita akan review terakhir. Setelah itu sudah kita akan melaksanakan PAS dan Misina akan rekap semua nilainya yang di sini. Misina ingatkan untuk yang belum menyelesaikan tugas kalau bisa maksimal terakhir adalah minggu ini. Jadi tolong diselesaikan semua tugas-tugasnya ya. Dicicil sehari minimal 2 kalau kalian terlalu banyak biar sebelum PAS kalian sudah tidak ada tanggungan lagi. Gitu ya. 7. Tunggu sebentar, I would like to prepare the worksheet. Kita akan review dulu. Tunggu sebentar.
English is my second language. As a vlogger, I deal with social media a lot, which is actually fun for me, but I will say sometimes it's challenging. For my social
There are 5 types of conditionals: zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and mixed conditional. A conditional is a type of sentence that is made up of an if clause and a main clause. The if clause is known as the condition, and the main clause is the result. The sentence describes a situation that might happen or might have happened. The sentence usually starts with if or when. It's important to note the if clause can be first or the second part of the sentence. Zero conditional. This is made up of if plus the present simple plus present simple. The zero conditional refers to situations that are always true or possible. For example, if it rains, the ground gets wet. If you heat ice, it melts. It's important to note that when can also be used instead of if. For example, when you heat ice, it melts. First conditional. This is made up of if plus the present simple plus the future simple. First conditional refers to a situation that is possible or realistic. For example, if I go to the shop, I will buy something. If I study hard, I will pass my exams. Second conditional. This is made up of if plus the past simple plus would and the base form of a verb. Second conditional refers to a situation that is impossible or unlikely to happen. For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a mansion. Another example is, if I were you, I would quit smoking. Third conditional. This is made up of if plus the past perfect plus would have plus the past participle. The third conditional refers to a past situation that differs from reality. For example, if I had saved my money, I would have bought a car. If I had studied, I would have passed my exams. Mixed conditional. So mixed conditional can be if plus a second conditional followed by third conditional, or if plus a third conditional
Okay. Nah, I would like to share the link. Bentar. Sina kasih tahu dulu video untuk yang conditional type 3. Sebentar.
Aku punya kuis untukmu. Apa itu satu ekor burung dalam bahasa Inggris?
Well, hey there, I'm Emma from English. Tell me, have you ever wished that a situation from the past had been different? Maybe you wish that you'd behaved differently or you'd said yes to something. Hey there, I'm Emma from English. Tell me, have you ever wished that a situation from the past had been different? Maybe you wish that you'd behaved differently or wish that you'd said yes to something that you didn't. Of course you have. This is part of being human, isn't it? We all go through it. So I know that you are going to love today's lesson. Today, we are going to dive deep on some awesome grammar, the third conditional. Now, I hope you're not eye rolling on me. Yes, this is a grammar lesson, but it's an incredibly useful one to talk about our regrets and our disappointments. It sounds kind of grim, doesn't it? There are lots of useful ways to learn and practice with this grammar structure, and I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get started. Let's go. Now, you probably know that there are several types of conditional sentences in English. I've made lessons about many of them already. But like all conditional sentences, the third conditional has two clauses, the if clause and the main clause. But unlike the zero, the first and the second conditionals, this one talks about the past, and specifically an unreal past, not a true past, an unreal one. We use the third conditional to imagine a situation in the past and the imaginary result, which is also in the past, okay? So it's imaginary, it's not real, it's not true, okay? Because we can't change the past. Sometimes we wish we could, but we can't. So that's why you'll often hear the third conditional being used to talk about regrets, things that we wish were different. So let's look at a few examples to get started. If I had left earlier, I wouldn't have missed my flight. So I'm a bit upset about that, right? I'm upset I missed my flight. I wish that I had have left my house a little bit earlier and not run late. I wish that I could go back in time and be on the plane, but I can't because my flight's gone. There's nothing that I can do about it now except buy another ticket. Well, we can use the third conditional to show how angry or how frustrated we are about this situation, right? Now look, if you hadn't been so rude, they would have invited you back. You were rude? Well, obviously that didn't work out well for you, did it? Now they're not going to invite you back again in the future. Don't. You can't go back and change it now, can you? Whether you want to or not. So I'm just going to use the third conditional now to tell you off. If I hadn't been going so fast, I wouldn't have been fined. Yeah, I got fined, which is annoying. And not run late. I wish that I could go back in time and be on the plane, but I can't because my flight's gone. There's nothing that I can do about it now except buy another ticket. Well, we can use the third conditional to show how angry or how frustrated we are about this situation, right? Now look, if you hadn't been so rude, they would have invited you back. You were rude? Well, obviously that didn't work out well for you, did it? Now they're not going to invite you back again in the future. Don't. You can't go back and change it now, can you? Whether you want to or not. So I'm just going to use the third conditional now to tell you off. If I hadn't been going so fast, I wouldn't have been fined. Yeah, I got fined, which is annoying. But it's already happened. I can't change it now, right? That's something you definitely can't change. So we use the third conditional to talk about things that we regret, things that we wish we could change about the past, and also to tell someone off for something that they did in the past. So it's pretty useful, right? It's a really handy structure to have up your sleeve or to know. All right, so let's talk about what it looks like now. So to make the third conditional, we need a few things. We need if and the past perfect. Then we need a comma, and then we need the perfect conditional. You might be wondering, what the heck is the past perfect or the perfect conditional? So think about it this way. The past perfect is subject with had and the past participle verb. If I had left earlier, if you hadn't been so rude, if I hadn't been going so fast. Okay, these are all examples of the past perfect. Now, the perfect conditional is subject with would, have, and the past participle verb. So it's just the present perfect with would in front of it. I wouldn't have missed my flight. They would have invited you back. I wouldn't have got that ticket. So let's put the third conditional all together. We need if, the subject, had, and the past participle, then our comma, very important, followed by our subject, would, have, and the past participle. That's the third conditional. So let's look at some examples to help it sink in a little, all right? Let's do our third conditional checks first, all right? Are we talking about the past or the present here? It was in the past, but did it actually happen? No, you didn't call, so I didn't come. I wish that I could change this because I'd love to come. If she had replied to my message, I wouldn't have been so worried. So I'm kind of telling her off here, right? I'm a bit frustrated. Did she reply to my message? But was I worried? Yeah. I wish that she had so that I didn't have to worry, you know? If I had taken better care of myself, I wouldn't have got sick. So I'm expressing regret about the past here. I wish I'd taken better care of myself. Now, you'll remember from some of my other conditional lessons that we can actually use different modal verbs in the main clause. So
we can replace would have with other modals like might and could. So we use might have to show probability or certainty. If she'd studied more, she might have passed. But she might have also failed again. We're not sure. We're not certain, right? If we were certain about that imaginary result in the past, then we would use would have. That's more certain. Since we're not exactly sure about what the result would have been, then using might have is probably the better option. Now we use could have to talk about possibility and ability. If you had lent me your car, I could have got there faster. Now, I'm not promising that I absolutely would have. I'm just saying that I would have been able to get there faster. You know, with a car, I would have the ability to arrive sooner. So now that we've broken it down a little bit, how are you feeling about the third conditional? Hopefully it was some good reminders from the other conditional lessons. And if you're thinking something along the lines of, if I'd seen this video earlier, I wouldn't have been so confused. Well, I must be doing something right. So now we're going to put everything we just learned into practice with a little mini quiz, my favorite. And I wonder if you're going to ace this little quiz or not. Let's see. Okay.
English is my second language.
Excuse me, Miss, suaranya tidak kedengaran. Suaranya tidak kedengaran, Miss.
Permisi ya, Miss, suaranya belum keluar, Miss.
Cek, tes, cek. Gimana sekarang? Udah better?
Sudah, Miss,
Atau
sudah
masih?
kedengaran.
Oke. Nah, dari penjelasan yang tadi kita dengarkan dari video, misalnya kasih kesimpulannya sedikit. Kalian bisa menyimpulkan sendiri. So, conditional type 3 digunakan untuk menjelaskan penyesalan masa lalu kita yang tidak bisa dirubah. Tapi kita bisa membayangkan kalau misal kita merubahnya jadinya seperti apa. Nah, itu adalah fungsi dari conditional yang type ketiga ini. Jadi kita membayangkan masa lalu yang tidak bisa dirubah, tapi kita membayang-bayangkan nih, kalau misal kita bisa merubah, apa yang akan terjadi. Nah, kayak gitu. Contohnya, di sini bikin contoh di chat box ya. If I had been graduated this year, I would have been working. Nah, Misina ngasih contoh tuh, if I had been graduated this year, I would have been working. Kalau aku udah lulus tahun ini, aku pasti sudah bekerja. Kenyataannya sekarang kalian belum lulus dari sekolah, jadi kalian masih belum bekerja. So, kita kayak nge-regret masa lalu gitu. Nah, itu salah satu fungsinya. Nah, di sini udah dikasih contoh juga nih. If gandeng dengan past perfect, so if I had won the Christmas lottery, so if I had, jadi past perfect itu adalah kalau perfect biasanya pakai have atau has, tapi karena dia past tense, jadi dia pakai had diikuti dengan kata kerja bentuk ketiga. Jadinya if I had won the Christmas lottery, kemudian diikuti dengan would have ini satu paket tidak bisa dirubah, diikuti dengan kata kerja bentuk ketiga. Jadinya I would have bought a big house. If I had won the Christmas lottery, I would have a big house. Kenyataannya, dia menyesali masa lalunya karena dia tidak menang lotre. Jadi dia nggak bisa beli rumah yang besar. So that's the fact. Karena untuk menunjukkan harapan yang tidak kesampaian, meregret masa lalu. Nah, di sini penjelasannya adalah we use the third conditional to talk about the past. It's a dream that will never come true. Jadi harapan atau mimpi yang tidak jadi kenyataan karena kenyataannya yang sekarang itu berbeda. Jadi dia meregretnya kayak gitu. Kita coba di sini. If gandeng dengan past perfect, jadinya if I hadn't karena ada not-nya. If I hadn't lost, diikuti dengan kata kerja bentuk ketiga. If I hadn't lost my wallet, I would have, ini patternnya nggak bisa dirubah. Would have diikuti dengan kata kerja bentuk ketiga. I hadn't lost my wallet, I would have arrived at the opera on time. If I hadn't lost my wallet, I would have arrived at the opera on time. Jadi dia menyesali kalau aku nggak kehilangan dompetku, aku pasti bakalan sudah sampai di opera tepat waktu. Kenyataannya waktu itu dia kehilangan dompet, jadi dia nggak bisa nyampe di opera tepat waktu. Nah, kayak gitu. Silakan coba dilanjutkan. 5 menit, setelah itu Miss Yuna minta kalian untuk share screen, salah satunya kita coba discuss bareng-bareng ya. Silakan coba kerjakan dulu 5 menit. Oke, sudah ada yang mau share screen? Kita bahas bareng-bareng aja. Tinggal 15 menit, nanti sisanya kalian lanjutkan sendiri. Miss Tina udah buatkan submission link di Classroom. Ada yang mau share screen? Amira Zulfa, are you here?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Ahmad Zaki, are you here? Aditya Tresna? Aditya Tresna, are you here? Febrian Dwi Cahyo? Febrian Dwi Cahyo? Haidar Dava? Haidar Dava? Hamzah Nur? Hamzah Nur? Hilwa Nauro? Hilwa Nauro? Muhammad Radifan? Are you here? Muhammad Ircham.
Permisi, Miss. Ini nanti dikirim atau screenshot saja?
Apa nah?
Ini nanti dikirim atau screenshot saja untuk pengumpulannya.
Dikirim sama. Ya, sama seperti biasa ya. Email my answer to my teacher, kemudian screenshot, upload di classroom ya.
Oke, terima kasih, Miss.
Thank you. Muhammad Rafli Atala. Rafli Atala. Rizky Akbar Saputra. Admin kita siapa namanya nih guys, hostnya?
Amira Zulfa, Bu, hostnya.
Oh, oke. Thank you.
Isi, Miss.
Iya. Ya.
Hilwa Nauro izin, Miss. Lagi perjalanan ke Malang.
Oke. Thank you. Ada yang mau share screen?
Saya, Miss.
Oke, silakan. Gue dulu. Oke, silakan. Wah, luar biasa nih udah dapet banyak. So, number 2 diawali dengan Sally. Udah dicek ternyata. Number 2-nya diawali dengan Sally tanpa if, berarti Sally diikuti dengan past perfect-nya. Sally wouldn't have been so upset. Yes, benar. Wouldn't have been so upset if she had passed the driving test. Benar. Sally tidak akan bersedih kalau dia bisa lolos tes mengemudi, gitu ya. Kenyataannya karena dia nge-regret masa lalunya, berarti dia sekarang tidak lulus uji tes mengemudi. Gitu. Good. Number 3, if Mary had been hungry, yes, she would have had something to eat. Yes, kalau misal Mary merasa lapar, dia pasti udah punya sesuatu untuk dimakan. Kenyataannya waktu itu dia nggak merasa lapar, jadi sekarang dia punya sesuatu untuk dimakan. Jadi situasinya kayak gitu. Meregret masa lalu, which is kebalikan dari apa yang dia ucapkan. Gitu. Kebalikan dari apa yang dia tulis sekarang. Contohnya lagi, my parents. Nah, my parents nggak ada if-nya. Jadinya my parents wouldn't have. Nah, harus ada have-nya juga tuh. Silakan ditambah dulu dari my parents wouldn't have bought.
Ini ya, Miss.
Ya, number 4 ya. My parents wouldn't have bought the house, yes, if they hadn't had. Yes, good job. Itu double. Jadi hadn't yang pertama itu adalah pattern utamanya, kemudian diikuti sama have yang kata kerja. Jadi hadn't had the money. Good. Number 5.
Kenapa bisa
Peter
double?
gak ada. Kenapa nak?
Kenapa double?
Oke, jadi kenapa double? Had yang pertama itu adalah past perfect. Jadi kuncinya adalah past perfect itu selalu pakai had. Jadi hadden yang pertama itu adalah past perfect, kemudian diikuti belakangnya kata kerja bentuk ketiga. Karena kata kerjanya kebetulan have, jadi have-nya juga tetap harus dirubah jadi bentuk ketiga. Itulah hadden had. Gitu. Jadi double ini bukan karena mereka sama, tapi mereka berbeda. Fungsinya beda. Hadden yang pertama adalah past perfect, had yang kedua itu adalah kata kerja bentuk ketiga. Itu. Good. Number 5. Peter, nah karena diawali dengan Peter tanpa if, berarti diikuti dengan would have forgotten. Nah, jadi Peter would have forgotten. Forgotnya harus dirubah ke bentuk ketiga. Jadi forget, forgot, forgotten. That Peter would have forgotten her mother's birthday if I hadn't reminded him. Yes, good. Next, number 6. Diawali dengan I tanpa if, jadinya I would have phoned yes you if I had had. Yes, great job. Bisa. Next, number 7. Terakhir ya, nomor 7, sisanya kalian lanjutkan sendiri. Udah bisa nih. In, karena gak ada if-nya, jadi diikuti dengan would. Kemudian ada have, got, yes, a taxi if he
Ini bukan, Miss.
Yes, benar. Tim would have got a taxi if he hadn't forgotten. Sebenarnya forgot itu memang ada dua versi, guys. Forgot, bentuk yang ketiganya itu forgot aja boleh. Ini dia British. Jadi kalau dia British pakai forgot aja bentuk ketiganya, tapi kalau dia American, dia akan pakai bentuk ketiganya itu adalah forgotten. Jadi dua term ini sebenarnya sama benarnya, cuman beda negara aja. Oke. Jadi ini forgot bentuk ketiga itu untuk British ada tetap forgot, tapi kalau untuk American dia akan jadi forgotten bentuk ketiganya. Oke, good job. Karena waktu kita udah tinggal 1 menit, kita bisa akhiri kelasnya kalau kalian sudah paham. Silakan dilanjutkan. Jangan lupa email my answer to my teacher if you are finished. Nah, terus juga email my answer to my teacher. Kemudian SS result, dan juga result, upload atau upload. Okay, so far. Is there any question again? Deadline untuk semua tugas yang ada di classroom minggu ini terakhir ya. Biar minggu depan Misina udah bisa setor nilai, karena sebenarnya Misina sudah janji untuk minggu ini setor nilai, tapi banyak banget yang belum. Jadi Misina tungguin maksimal minggu ini biar Misina bisa setor nilai, dan sebelum PAS kalian sudah komplit, nggak ada tugas. Ya, thank you for today. I would like to dismiss the class by reciting hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. See you next week. Tetap semangat belajar. Dicicil semua tugasnya satu persatu. Setiap hari minimal 2 kalian ngerjain tugasnya. Biar kalian nanti tidak ada beban tugas ketika PAS. Semangat, tetap terus belajar demi liburan akhir tahun tanpa beban. Selesaikan tugasnya, fokus belajar demi liburan akhir tahun tanpa beban. See you next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. See you.